Okay, here's the system. This is actually in the stairwell of our house, going up to the roof. So it starts right here, and this is the water inlet line from the cistern on top of our roof. We don't have water every day here. We just have water that's piped into the cistern once a week. So I have a meter on here because you want to be able to track how much water goes in to your system. It goes into the tank here, and then there's I don't know if you can see it. There's a float valve right here. When you push the float valve, the water comes in. And so I actually modified this float valve because I only want the water coming up about 2/3 of the way in the tank. I don't want the tank filling all the way up, because I don't need all that much water, and I have a hole right here where my probe, the wires for my pH and temperature probe and all that stuff goes in right there. So then down here is a pump. This is a half horsepower water pump, and it is obviously it comes out at the bottom, and I have valves on everything because I want maximum controllability on this thing, and I want to be able to isolate a leak if I have to. So I have valves everywhere. So the water is pumped out of the bottom of the tank, and it goes through up here, and this is just a relief valve, and I kind of keep it cracked open. So when the water is pumped, a portion of it goes back, and it goes back into the tank, into this tube right here, just to stir the water up, keep the water stirring. And then this is the majority of the water. It comes out and goes out to the outside. This whole thing is controlled by a sprinkler timer, and it's not actually designed for this, but we're using it this way anyway. And so what I did, in order to get all of the timings that I need, I just gather them all together, all the leads together. I can explain that more in detail. This is a 20-volt AC outlet here. The output is 20 volts AC, so it goes through a capacitor and a diode rectifier into this relay, which is a DC input, and then the 220 volt output here that goes through to the motor. So this is the motor, the pump. It's plugged into this power strip. It goes through this relay. When the timer triggers the relay, it goes down to the pump, and it turns the pump on. Okay, I was going to say something about the timer here. The reason why we're using this and not just a normal electrical timer is we need to have a whole bunch of timing events during the day, and I need to be able to control it with detail. So a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and with just a normal kind of like rotary timer or something like that you can buy at Lowe's, that's not gonna be able to do that. Also, you need to be able to do it. You need to be able to time it for a minute every 30 minutes, or right now it's set for 2 minutes every 30 minutes. And so you need to be able to make fine adjustments, and the best way to do that is with one of these sprinkler timers. And because what happens is it has zones, and so this is a 8-zone model, and it has 6 watering times per zone. So that gives me a ton. If I just chain them all together, see they're all chained together, that gives me a ton of possible watering events during the day. So it's not exactly designed to be running a big motor. It's designed to be turning on and off like a solenoid for a sprinkler, but totally is working for our purposes here as well. This was like $100 right here. So anyway, so the water goes out here through the wall, out to the plants, and then it drains back here. This is the drain. It drains back into the tank right here. This is the fertigation unit. It's just attached to the side of the tank, and it's actually not connected right now because I was making some changes to it, but this is the inside of it right here. And let's see, this is what it looks like when it's on. And this thing right here, these are the pumps, obviously. These are the probes for the pH, the EC, and the temperature. And then what you have right here is this thing, these little knobs right here turn the settings up or down. So you can see that when you turn this little knob right here, it changes the setting for the pH. So if I set it like this, it's going to adjust the pH to 7. And this one right here adjusts the EC, the nutrient level. And so you just turn these little knobs right here, and it sets it, and it'll start working on achieving that value. It uses these little buttons right here to cycle through the menu, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now this is up on the roof. So the water is pumped from the corner back there. It pumps up through this pipe right here, and along this line right here. Again, I have valves. I have valves at every junction. It goes into this irrigation pipe, and this irrigation pipe actually has little holes in it. It has a little emitter right here already in it. Don't have to do that. Totally get more flexibility if you don't use pipe that has the emitters already. You can get a lot more flexibility in your system if you use a pipe and then you have separate emitters. That's totally fine. It goes into this channel. This is just like a black plastic right here, and it's held up with these clips, and the water goes in here into this bag. This bag is full of coconut fiber, reused recycled coconut fiber, and it goes into the bag. It drains down, and then it drains down all the way down. So we have a carefully calculated drop. 3% drop is what we want. So it starts up here at 35 centimeters and it goes all the way down there at 15 centimeters off the ground. So that's why we have our nice drop. This is a different type variety over here. These are the really healthy ones right here. So we can get, each of these bags is 1 meter. And we have 6 plants in each bag, and we can get that kind of density because we're applying the nutrients and the water right to the roots of each plant. And I mean, you can see they're doing really well. These things were about 3 inches tall, 3 to 4 inches tall a week and a half ago, and so you can see they are really shooting up there really fast. And this is the structure that I built right here that we can it just has shade cloth on it right now. They're watering right now actually, so I don't know if you can see it, but the water's coming out right now. And so I have the shade cloth on the structure right now, and I have a PVC pipe that just runs along here, and that's where I have the ropes tied to. And it's nice because the smooth sides of the pipe function as a sort of a pulley for adjusting the tension of the strings attached to each plant. This has been my chore this weekend to get all of them strung up because they're growing so rapidly. So I still haven't gotten these over here done, but I've gotten most of the ones over here strung up. So just have the pipe that runs all the way along the side and have the strings tied to it. We have the shade cloth on it right now. Hopefully in the winter we'll just take the shade cloth off and we'll enclose the whole thing in plastic.